Welcome back, guys. I thought I was not going to be able to do this rant today, but it looks like I have time. So let's get right into it. We have two legends that have big birthdays today. Today's the 55th birthday of legendary hip hop artist, songwriter, and producer Tracy Lee Curry. Tracy Lynn Curry, better known by his rap name, the D.O.C. The D.O.C. was a member of the southern hip hop group the Fila Fresh Crew, and he later collaborated with NWA and co-wrote some of their songs. He was also the founder of Death Row with Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, and the late Dick Griffey. Today is also the 50th birthday of legendary singer, songwriter, and actress Faith Evans. We all know her as a member of the Bad Boys roster, and she was the wife of the late great Notorious B.I.G. So I'm gonna read about the D.O.C. first because he's the oldest. And I was gonna do a rant on him when he was turning 50 in 2018, but I didn't have the chance to do it. But I'm glad I'm doing a video on him now that he's 55. So let's get right into it. The D.O.C. was born Tracy Lynn Cruz in Dallas, Texas on June 10th, 1968. Yeah, y'all didn't know he's from Dallas, Texas, did you? He's a Texas boy. He began his career as a teenager as a member of the Fila Fresh Crew, a hip hop trio that was originated in Dallas. And while he was in the group, he was known as Doc T. In 1988, the Fila Fresh Crew released their debut extended album, Toughest Man Alive. In 1987, the Fila Fresh Crew had 4 songs featured on the complication NWA album, NWA and the Posse, which featured various other artists. The same 4 tracks would later appear on their Toughest Man Alive album. Though the album would produce 3 singles, the group disbanded not long after its release. By this point, the D.O.C. moved to LA and become acquainted with NWA and Ruthless Records. Curry would begin using the name D.O.C. after he was signed to Eazy-E's Ruthless Records. He contributed lyrics on NWA's debut album Straight Outta Compton and performed the opening verse on Parental Discretion is Advised. He also wrote for Eazy-E's debut album Easy Does It and co-wrote Keep Watching for Miss Chalet's debut self-titled album. On August 1st, 1989, the D.O.C. released his debut album No One Could Do It Better, debuting at number 20 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart and was certified platinum, with the 4 singles, The Doc and the Doctor, Mind Blowing, It's Funky Enough, and my all-time favorite song, The Formula. Mind Blowing is on the soundtrack of NBA Live 2005. After the release of No One Could Do It Better, the D.O.C. was involved in a car accident. He was driving home from a party and he fell asleep behind the wheel and it crashed into a tree and it damaged his vocal cords. He spent 2.5 weeks in the hospital. He could not speak for about a month and was left with a different, raspier voice. Despite that, he continued to write for NWA and contributed lyrics and minor vocals to their 1990 EP 100 Miles and Running, where he co-wrote all the songs except for Just Don't Bite It. And their final album, he also co-wrote their final album, Niggas for Life. In 1991, the D.O.C. left Ruthless Records and launched his own record label, Death Row Records, with Suge Knight, Dr. Dre, and the late Dick Griffey. He also used his talents as one of the writers on Dre's debut album, The Chronic, contributing to the tracks None But a G Thing, Little Ghetto Boy, A Nigga with a Gun, Lyrical Gangbang, and Bitches Ain't Shit But Hoes and Tricks. In addition to The Chronic, the D.O.C. worked on Snoop's debut album Doggy Style and added some vocals to the song Serial Killer. He continued to be a ghostwriter for various songs on Dr. Dre and Snoop albums. Real Motherfucking G's from Eazy-E's 1993 extended play It's On 187 It's On Dr. Dre 187 Killer includes lyric samples from It's Funky Enough in the song's hooks. We all know that he was involved. The D.O.C. intended to make a comeback in 1996 following that car crash that he was in 1989. He released his second album, Helter Skelter, on January 23, 1996, debuting at number 30 on the Billboard 200 and number 5 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart. In 1997, the D.O.C. founded his own Dallas-based record label, Silverback Records. He introduced Dallas rapper 6ix2 to Dr. Dre, who featured him on his Dr. Dre's album 2001. He also provided lyrics for the album. On July 20, 2000, the D.O.C. appeared on stage with Dre and Snoop at the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts during the Up in Smoke tour. On February 25, 2003, the D.O.C. released his third and most recent album, D.O.C. Later on in his career, he wrote lyrics for Snoop's The Blue Carpet Treatment album. In 2006, he revealed that he was working on his fourth album entitled Voices, and stated that it would be released after Dre's upcoming fourth album, Detox, which was scrapped in favor of 2015's Compton. After the release of the biopic Straight Outta Compton, the D.O.C. revealed that his natural voice had returned if he concentrated and that he would record new music, although he was not ready to release anything yet. Although he is not mentioning in the songwriting credits, the D.O.C. claimed that he helped Dr. Dre write his third album, Compton. Last year, he collaborated with Confidence, a new group formed by Seshi and Sam King from Get Dead, on a track called The Fast Ones. This will mark the first time in 9 years that the D.O.C. had recorded new music. You know what? I'm very happy that the D.O.C. is still here to see 55. 5 years ago, he was here to see 50, and now he's here to see 55. But it sucked that he was involved in that horrible car accident 5 months after his debut album was released that damaged his vocal cords. If that shit would have never happened, he would definitely be in the top 5. But I'm happy that the D.O.C. is still here. I know he's trying to make a comeback if he can get his voice back. But I'm happy that he's still here. So I want to say happy birthday to the D.O.C. I'm glad that he's still here, despite that he was involved in that horrible car accident. He's also definitely a great songwriter too. He wrote some lyrics on Dr. Dre's The Chronic album, 2001 album, and Compton album. And he also wrote lyrics for Snoop's album Doggy Style and Eazy-E's debut album Easy Does It. This guy does not get the credit that he has done of songwriting. He should definitely be in the Songwriting Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Just happy that the D.O.C. is still here 55 years later, despite that he was in that horrible car accident. And The Formula, by the way, is my favorite song by him off of his first album. No One Could Do It Better. Now let's talk about Faith Evans. Fizzy was born in Lakeland, Florida on June 10th, 1973. She was raised in a Christian home, began singing in church when she was 2 years old. At the age of 4, she caught the attention of the congregation of the Emmanuel Baptist Church in Newark, where she sang the Fifth Dimension song, Let the Sun Shine In. While attending University High School in Newark, she sang with several jazz bands and, encouraged by Healing, entered outside pageants, festivals, and contests where her voice would be noticed and praised. After she graduated from high school in 1991, she attended Fordham University in New York City to study marketing, but left a year later to have her daughter China with music producer Kimaya Griffin. In 1993, she located to LA, where she worked as a backup vocalist for singer Al B. Shore, who we talked about last week on his 55th birthday. She was signed to Bad Boy Records, owned by Sean Puff Daddy Combs, in 1994. She met the Notorious B.I.G. at a Bad Boy photo shoot, and they got married on August 4th, 1994. On August 29th, 1995, Faith Evans released her debut album, Faith, the same day Biggie and Junior Mafia released their debut album, Conspiracy. Her debut album, Faith, debuted at number 22 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart, and was certified platinum. With the 4 singles, You Used to Love Me, Ain't Nobody, Come Over, and Soon as I Get Home. In 1996, Faith Evans gave birth to her son. Biggie and Faith Evans had their second son together. They have a son together, which was Faith's first child or second child, Christopher Wallace Jr., who was born on October 29th. In early 1997, she was separated from Biggie, but before his death, Faith Evans' friend Missy Elliott introduced her to company executive Todd Rusaw. They began dating during her and Biggie's separation. After Biggie's death, Faith Evans became pregnant, and her son Josh was born on her 25th birthday, June 10th, 1998. Today, her son Josh is 25 years old. Puff Daddy helped Faith Evans produce her tribute song to Biggie, of course, I'll Be Missing You. On October 27, 1998, Faith released her second album, Keep the Faith, debuting at number 6 on the Billboard 200 and number 3 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart, and was also certified platinum. With the 4 singles, my all-time favorite, Love Like This, Never Gonna Let You Go, Lately I, and All Night Long, featuring Puff Daddy. On November 6, 2001, Faith Evans released her third album, Faithfully, debuting at number 14 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart, and was certified gold. With the 4 singles, Alone in This World, Burning Up, I Love You, and You Get No Love. In 2004, I believe that was her last album under Bad Boy Records. Yeah, but eventually that was her last album under Bad Boy Records, because she left the label around January 2004. Yep, she departed her ways with Bad Boy in 2004. In January 2004, Faith Evans and Todd Russo were arrested and charged for possession of marijuana and cocaine and an improper tag violation during a traffic stop in Hapeville, a suburb of the ATL. After ending her contract with Bad Boy, Faith Evans contracted with Capitol Records and released her fourth album, The First Lady, on April 5th, 2005, my sister's 12th birthday. The album did extremely well, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart, and was also certified gold. With the 3 singles, Mesmerize, True Love, and Again. Faith Evans pretty much took a 5-year hiatus from music after the release of her 4th album. Oh, she also released her 5th album and her first Christmas album, A Faithful Christmas, on October 25th, 2005. After the release of A Faithful Christmas, Faith Evans took a hiatus from recording music. After a 5-year hiatus, she created her own record label, Imprint, in 2010. She then released her 6th album, Something About Faith, on October 5th, 2010. Debuting at number 15 on the Billboard 200 and number 4 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart, with the only single, Gone Already. Faith released her 7th album, Incomparable, on November 24, 2014. Debuting at number 27 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart and number 17 on the US Independent Albums chart. On May 19, 2017, Faith released her first and only collaboration album with her late husband, the Notorious B.I.G., The King and I, 2 days before what would have been Biggie's 45th birthday. The album debuted at number 65 on the Billboard 200 and number 31 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart. When I heard that Faith was making a collaboration album with Biggie, I'm like, I need to go out and buy this album. And I bought it the day it actually came out, just in time to celebrate what would have been Biggie's 45th birthday. So, in my opinion, Faith and the D.O.C., they don't look 50 and 55. They still look the same after all these years making music. These two are legends. These two are icons. These two are Geminis. That's why I listen to artists like these two. So thank you, Faith, for everything that you've done in your music career, and as well as the D.O.C. I was planning to do a rant on these two back in 2018, but I didn't have the time to do it. But I'm glad I'm doing a rant on them today. One is 50 and the other is 55. One is a half a century and the other is a double nickel. That's crazy. That's going to do it for my rant celebrating the 55th birthday of the D.O.C. and the 50th birthday of Faith Evans. If you're new here, hit subscribe and hit that notification bell for my next rant. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave your comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow for my reaction to Game 4 of the 2003 finals between the Nets and the Spurs, and the 1998 finals between the Jazz and the Bulls. And if I have time, I'll also reminisce 22 years of a segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin from the June 11th, 2001 edition of Raw is War. Happy 55th birthday to the D.O.C. and happy 50th birthday to Faith Evans. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. No more talk.